Newark is the largest city in the U.S. state of New Jersey, and the county seat of Essex County, one of the nation's major air, shipping, and rail hubs. The city had a population of 277,140 in 2010, making it the nation's 67th most populous municipality, after being ranked 63rd in the nation in 2000. Located in the heart of New Jersey's Gateway region, Newark is the second largest city in the New York metropolitan area, approximately 8 miles west of Manhattan. Port Newark, the major container shipping terminal in the Port of New York and New Jersey, is the largest on the East Coast. Newark Liberty International Airport was the first municipal commercial airport in the United States, and today is one of its busiest. Newark is headquarters to numerous corporations, such as Prudential Financial, Audible, Panasonic Corporation of North America and PSEG. It is also home to several universities, such as Rutgers Newark, the New Jersey Institute of Technology, and Seton Hall University's Law School, among others. Its cultural and sports venues include the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, the Prudential Center, and the Bears and Eagles Riverfront Baseball Stadium. Newark is divided into 5 geographical wards, and contains neighborhoods ranging in character from bustling urban districts to quiet suburban enclaves. Newark's Branch Brook Park is the oldest county park in the United States and is home to the nation's largest collection of cherry blossom trees, numbering over 5,000. History. Newark was originally founded in 1666 by Connecticut Puritans led by Robert Treat from the New Haven colony. It was conceived as a theocratic assembly of the faithful, though this did not last for long as new settlers came with different ideas. The city saw tremendous industrial and population growth during the 19th century and early 20th century, and experienced racial tension and urban decline in the second half of the 20th century, culminating in the 1967 Newark riots. The city has experienced revitalization during the 1990s and early 21st century. Newark was originally formed as a township on October 31, 1693, based on the Newark Tract, which was first purchased on July 11, 1667. Newark was granted a royal charter on April 27, 1713. During the Revolutionary War, there were several incidents when British troops made raids into the town. It was incorporated by an act of the New Jersey legislature on February 21, 1798, as one of New Jersey's initial group of 104 townships. During its time as a township, portions were taken to form Springfield Township, Caldwell Township, Orange Township, Bloomfield Township, and Clinton Township. Newark was reincorporated as a city on April 11, 1836, replacing Newark Township, based on the results of a referendum passed on March 18, 1836. The previously independent Vailsburg borough was annexed by Newark on January 1, 1905. In 1926, South Orange Township changed its name to Maplewood. As a result of this, a portion of Maplewood known as Ivy Hill was re-annexed to Newark's Vailsburg. The city has been thought to derive its name from Newark-on-Trent, England. This is on the grounds that the name was influenced by the original pastor, Abraham Pearson, who came from Yorkshire but may have ministered in Newark, Nottinghamshire. But Pearson is also supposed to have said that the community reflecting the new task at hand should be named Newark, for New Ark of the Covenant, and some of the colonists saw it as New Work. The settlers' new work with God. Whatever the origins, the name was shortened to Newark, although references to the name of Newark are found in preserved letters written by historical figures such as David Ogden in his claim for compensation, and James McHenry, as late as 1787. Geography and climate. Geography. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city had a total area of 26.107 square miles. including 24.187 square miles of land and 1.920 square miles of water was water. It has the third smallest land area among the 100 most populous cities in the U.S., behind neighboring Jersey City and Hialeah, Florida. The city's altitude ranges from 0 in the east to approximately 230 feet above sea level in the western section of the city. Newark is essentially a large basin sloping towards the Passaic River, with a few valleys formed by meandering streams. Historically, Newark's high places have been its wealthier neighborhoods. In the 19th century and early 20th century, the wealthy congregated on the ridges of Forest Hill, High Street, and Wequahic. Until the 20th century, the marshes on Newark Bay were difficult to develop, as the marshes were essentially wilderness, with a few dumps, warehouses, and cemeteries on their edges. During the 20th century, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey was able to reclaim 68 acres of the marshland for the further expansion of Newark Airport, as well as the growth of the port lands. Newark is surrounded by residential suburbs to the west, the Passaic River and Newark Bay to the east, dense urban areas to the south and southwest, and middle-class residential suburbs and industrial areas to the north. The city is the largest in New Jersey's Gateway region, which is said to have received its name from Newark's nickname as the Gateway City. Neighborhoods. Newark is New Jersey's largest and second most racially diverse city. It is divided into 5 political wards, which are often used by residents to identify their place of habitation. In recent years, residents have begun to identify with specific neighborhood names instead of the larger walled appellations. Nevertheless, the wards remain relatively distinct. Industrial uses, coupled with the airport and seaport lands, are concentrated in the east and south wards, while residential neighborhoods exist primarily in the north, central, and west wards. State law requires that wards be compact and contiguous, and that the largest ward may not exceed the population of the smallest by more than 10% of the average ward size. Ward boundaries are redrawn, as needed, by a board of ward commissioners consisting of 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans appointed at the county level and the municipal clerk. Redrawing of ward lines in previous decades have shifted traditional boundaries, so that downtown currently occupies portions of the east and central wards. The boundaries of the wards are altered for various political and demographic reasons and sometimes gerrymandered, especially the northeastern portion of the West Ward. Newark's Central Ward, formerly known as the Old Third Ward, contains much of the city's original history, including the Lincoln Park, Military Park and the James Street Commons historic districts. The ward contains the University Heights, the Coast, Lincoln Park, Government Center, Springfield, Belmont and 7th Avenue neighborhoods. Of these neighborhood designations, only University Heights, a more recent designation for the area that was the subject of the 1968 novel Howard Street by Nathan Hurd, is still in common usage. The Central Ward extends at one point as far north as 2nd Avenue. In the 19th century, the Central Ward was inhabited by Germans and other white Catholic and Christian groups. The German inhabitants were later replaced by Jews, who were then replaced by blacks. The increased academic footprint in the University Heights neighborhood has produced gentrification, with landmark buildings undergoing renovation. Located in the Central Ward is the largest health sciences university in the nation, UMDNJ New Jersey Medical School. It is also home to 3 other universities: New Jersey Institute of Technology, Rutgers University, Newark, and Essex County College. The Central Ward forms the present-day heart of Newark, and includes 26 public schools, 2 police precincts, including headquarters, 4 firehouses, and 1 branch library. The North Ward is surrounded by Branch Brook Park, Its neighborhoods include Broadway, Mount Pleasant, Upper Roseville and the affluent Forest Hill section. Forest Hill contains the Forest Hill Historic District, which is registered on state and national historic registers, and contains many older mansions and colonial homes. A row of residential towers with security guards and secure parking line Mount Prospect Avenue in the Forest Hill neighborhood. The North Ward has lost geographic area in recent times. Its southern boundary is now significantly further north than the traditional boundary near Interstate 280. The North Ward historically had a large Italian population. Demographics have transitioned to Latino in recent decades, though the ward as a whole remains ethnically diverse. The West Ward comprises the neighborhoods of Aylesburg, Ivy Hill, West Side, Fairmount and Lower Roseville. It is home to the historic Fairmount Cemetery. The West Ward, once a predominantly Irish American, Polish, and Ukrainian neighborhood, is now home to neighborhoods composed primarily of Latinos, African Americans, and Caribbean Americans. The West Ward has struggled in recent years with elevated rates of crime, particularly violent crime. The South Ward comprises the Wequahic, Clinton Hill, Dayton, and South Broad Valley neighborhoods. The South Ward, once home to residents of predominantly Jewish descent, now has ethnic neighborhoods made up primarily of African Americans and Hispanics. The South Ward is represented by Council Member John Sharp James. The city's second-largest hospital, Newark Beth Israel Medical Center, can be found in the South Ward, as can 17 public schools, 5 daycare centers, 3 branch libraries, 1 police precinct, a mini precinct, and 3 firehouses. The East Ward consists of much of Newark's downtown commercial district, as well as the Ironbound neighborhood, where much of Newark's industry was located in the 19th century. Today, due to the enterprise of its immigrant population, the Ironbound is a destination for shopping, dining, and nightlife, a historically immigrant-dominated section of the city. The Ironbound in recent decades has been termed Little Portugal and Little Brazil, due to its heavily Portuguese and Brazilian population. Newark, being home to one of the largest Portuguese-speaking communities in the United States. In addition, the East Ward has become home to various Latin Americans, African Americans, and commuters to Manhattan. Public education in the East Ward consists of East Side High School and 6 elementary schools. The ward is largely composed of densely packed housing, primarily large apartment buildings and row houses. Climate: Newark lies in the transition between a humid subtropical and humid continental climate, with cold, damp winters and hot, humid summers. The January daily mean is 31.6 degrees Fahrenheit, and although temperatures below 10 degrees Fahrenheit are to be expected in most years, sub-0 degrees Fahrenheit readings are rare. Conversely, some days may warm up to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The average seasonal snowfall is 29.5 inches, though variations in weather patterns may bring sparse snowfall in some years and several major nor'easters in others, with the heaviest 24-hour fall of 25.9 inches occurring on December 26, 1947. Spring and autumn in the area are generally unstable yet mild. The July daily mean is 77.4 degrees Fahrenheit, and highs exceed 90 degrees Fahrenheit on an average 27 days per year, not factoring in the oft-higher heat index. The city receives precipitation ranging from 2.9 to 4.8 inches per month, usually falling on 8 to 12 days per month. Extreme temperatures have ranged from -14 degrees Fahrenheit on February 9, 1934 to 108 degrees Fahrenheit on July 22, 2011. Demographics: the city had a population of 277,140 as of the 2010 census. retaining its position as the largest city in the state and making it the nation's 67th most populous municipality. After reaching a peak of 442,337 residents counted in the 1930 census, the city's population saw a decline of nearly 40% as residents moved to surrounding suburbs, with the increase in 2010 of 3,594 from the 273,546 counted in the 2000 census, marking the second census in 70 years in which the city's population had grown from the previous enumeration. White flight from Newark to the suburbs, which started in the 1940s, accelerated in the 1960s. The 1967 riots resulted in a significant population loss of the city's middle class, many of them Jewish, which continued from the 1970s through to the 1990s. The city lost about 130,000 residents between 1960 and 1990. From the 1950s to 1967, white population shrank from 363,000 to 158,000. Its black population grew from 70,000 to 220,000. The percentage of non-Hispanic whites declined from 82.8% in 1950 to 11.6% by 2010. The percentage of Latinos in Newark grew between 1980 and 2010, from 18.6% to 33.8%, while that of blacks decreased from 58.2% to 52.4%. Poverty remains a consistent problem in Newark, despite its revitalization in recent years. As of 2010, roughly one-third of the city's population is impoverished. It is believed that heavily immigrant areas of Newark are significantly undercounted in the 2010 census, especially in the East Ward. Many households refuse to participate in the census, with immigrants often reluctant to submit census forms because they believe that the information could be used to justify their deportation. 2010 census. At the 2010 United States Census, there were 277,140 people, 94,542 households, and 61,641 families residing in the city. The population density was 11,458.3 per square mile. There were 109,520 housing units at an average density of 4,528.1 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 26.31% white, 52.35% black or African American, 0.61% Native American, 1.62% Asian, 0.04% Pacific Islander, 15.22% from other races, and 3.85% from two or more races. Hispanics or Latinos of any race were 33.83% of the population. There were 94,542 households, of which 33.7% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 28.0% were married couples living together. 28.9% had a female householder with no husband present, and 34.8% were non-families. 27.9% of all households were made up of individuals, and 8.2% had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.76 and the average family size was 3.36. In the city, 25.6% of the population were under the age of 18, 11.9% from 18 to 24, 31.9% from 25 to 44, 22.1% from 45 to 64, and 8.6% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 32.3 years. For every 100 females there were 97.9 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 96.3 males. The Census Bureau's 2006 to 2010 American Community Survey showed that median household income was $35,659 and the median family income was $41,684. Males had a median income of $34,350 versus $32,865 for females. The per capita income for the city was $17,367. About 22.0% of families and 25.0% of the population were below the poverty line, including 34.9% of those under age 18 and 22.4% of those age 65 or over. 2000 census. Newark was the 63rd most populous city as of the 2000 census. As of the 2000 United States Census, there were 273,546 people, 91,382 households, and 61,956 families residing in the city. The population density was 11,495.0 per square mile. There were 100,141 housing units at an average density of 4,208.1 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city as of the 2000 census was 53.46% African American, 26.52% white, 1.19% Asian, 0.37% Native American, 0.05% Pacific Islander, 14.05% from other races, and 4.36% from two or more races. 29.47% of the population were Hispanic or Latino of any race. As of the 2000 census, 49.2% of the city's 80,622 residents who identified themselves as Hispanic or Latino were from Puerto Rico, while 9.4% were from Ecuador and 7.8% from the Dominican Republic. There is a significant Portuguese-speaking community concentrated in the Ironbound district. 2000 census data showed that Newark had 15,801 residents of Portuguese ancestry, while an additional 5,805 were of Brazilian ancestry. There were 91,382 households, out of which 35.2% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 31.0% were married couples living together. 29.3% had a female householder with no husband present, and 32.2% were non-families. 26.6% of all households were made up of individuals and 8.8% had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.8 and the average family size was 3.40. In the city, the population was spread out with 27.9% under the age of 18, 12.1% from 18 to 24, 32.0% from 25 to 44, 18.7% from 45 to 64, and 9.3% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 31 years. For every 100 females, there were 94.2 males. For every 100 females of age 18 and over, there were 91.1 males. The median income for a household in the city was $26,913, and the median income for a family was $30,781. Males had a median income of $29,748 versus $25,734 for females. The per capita income for the city was $13,009. 28.4% of the population and 25.5% of families were below the poverty line. 36.6% of those under the age of 18 and 24.1% of those 65 and older were living below the poverty line. The city's unemployment rate was 8.5%.